Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise to bring you the most potent insights on topics that truly matter. Today, we're embarking on a journey into the intricate dance of human connection, the art of effective communication. It's really the single thread that connects us all, isn't it? From, fleeting exchanges right through to profound relationships. This deep dive isn't just about talking, it's about making every conversation count, building bridges, and fostering genuine understanding. And joining me to unpack these powerful concepts is our expert guide. What's fascinating right from the outset is just how much of our entire experience is shaped by our ability to communicate. What would you say is the fundamental magic of effective communication?
That's a brilliant question. And it truly is transformative. Effective communication is, well, it's nothing short of magical because it empowers us to transcend barriers, be they cultural, emotional, or even intellectual barriers. It allows us to share complex ideas, understand nuanced emotions, express our authentic selves, and really foster a deep sense of belonging. Think of it. Every single conversation, no matter how brief, presents a unique opportunity to learn, to grow, and to enrich our lives through the diverse experiences of others. This deep dive will offer practical concepts, actionable strategies, and yes, some real-life anecdotes to enhance your conversational prowess. We'll guide you from basic nonverbal cues right through to mastering assertiveness. And before we even delve into those techniques, it raises an important question, doesn't it? Why is it of the utmost importance to first establish a solid foundation based on good intentions when entering any conversation?
That's a powerful point. It's about self awareness, isn't it? Understanding why you're engaging in a conversation, whether it's to inform, maybe persuade, connect, or simply to learn, that's absolutely essential. By taking the time for this crucial self-reflection, you can tailor your approach, can't you? You fit it to the unique context and the individuals involved, and that really sets the scene for more meaningful and fruitful exchanges.
Precisely. That foundational step ensures your communication is purposeful and, importantly, aligned with your authentic intentions.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The very first step, seemingly simple, is often the most profound. We're talking about the power of a genuine smile.
Absolutely. A genuine smile is, well, it's a universal language, isn't it? It transcends cultural and linguistic barriers. It communicates warmth, positivity, friendliness, acceptance. It immediately creates an approachable atmosphere.
It really does set the tone.
It does. Consider the scenario of meeting someone from a different country where language is a barrier. A sincere smile can instantly connect individuals in a moment of shared understanding. It also acts as a powerful icebreaker in unfamiliar social settings, alleviating tension and dispelling that initial awkwardness, making both parties feel more at ease. Furthermore, and this is quite interesting, a genuine smile has a remarkable ability to elevate not only the mood of those around you, but also your own.
Really? How does that work?
Well, it sends positive signals to the brain.
Yeah.
Studies have shown that even a sort of forced smile can improve your own mood by stimulating the brain's happiness centers. So it's a powerful tool for self-regulation, not just for connecting with others. You're not just signaling openness, you're actually creating it within yourself.
That's a surprising insight. I like that. And building on that openness, here's where it gets really interesting. The intricate dance of engaging eye contact. How does the silent gesture speak volumes beyond just a simple glance?
Engaging eye contact is absolutely fundamental. It's a powerful nonverbal cue that conveys sincerity, genuine interest, and full engagement. Maintaining eye contact establishes a direct and intimate connection. It communicates that you value the other person's presence and their words, thereby fostering trust and openness.
So it's a visible sign of active listening.
Exactly. It demonstrates you are present and attentive. But, and here's the nuance, it's not about an unblinking stare, is it?
No, that can be quite off-putting.
Quite. There are various forms to consider, and adapting your style based on context and cultural norms is crucial. For example, you have brief and friendly eye contact, often paired with a smile, which just acknowledges presence. Then there's maintained and interested eye contact, which signals active engagement and focus.
Okay.
You also have intermittent and thoughtful contact. This is where you break contact briefly, perhaps to gather your thoughts or allow the other person a moment to speak. It indicates you're processing information, not disengaging.
Right. That makes sense.
In more formal settings, a business-like gaze tends to be direct and assertive, conveying confidence. Whilst in certain cultural contexts, or perhaps with individuals who seem uncomfortable, a respectful and subdued approach might involve shorter durations, maybe looking slightly away. And we can even reinforce understanding with nodding and confirming eye contact or build rapport by mirroring the other person's style. And of course, our eyes are expressive, widening for surprise, narrowing for skepticism.
True.
A confident gaze, strong and direct, is useful in leadership contexts. The key really is adaptation. Paying attention to cultural norms and comfort levels ensures eye contact is perceived as respectful and engaging, not intimidating.
So beyond our eyes, what about our overall presence? Our bodies speak volumes, don't they? Let's delve into intentional body language, posture, gestures.
Precisely. Body language is a silent symphony, transmitting emotions, attitudes, and intentions, often unconsciously. Standing or sitting confidently with an open posture, shoulders back, not slumped, avoiding crossed arms, it exudes self-assurance and approachability.
Right, projects confidence.
It really does. Think of entering a job interview. A straight stance, shoulders back, head held high. This confident body language communicates capability and self-assurance before you even say a word. It helps establish a commanding presence, even in crowded settings. Your stance exudes a sense of authority and self-belief, capturing attention and making others more receptive. And crucially, confident body language also impacts your self-perception. It can actually boost your self-worth and make you feel more self-assured during conversations.
So it works both ways, outwards and inwards.
Absolutely. It projects an image that others find approachable, which in turn makes them comfortable and more willing to open up in your presence.
And the sound of our voice, the very melody of dialogue, plays a huge role too. How does our vocal tone shape the conversation?
Vocal tone sets the entire mood of an interaction. It's incredibly powerful. Friendly and welcoming tones create a pleasant and inviting atmosphere, making others comfortable and open to discourse.
So a warm tone can make people more receptive.
Immediately. A warm, friendly tone elicits positive feelings, enhancing receptiveness and allowing people to express themselves more freely. And when your tone aligns with your body language, it creates authenticity and builds trust. Your tone affects more than just the conversation. It also positively influences the mood of both you and the listener.
What factors affect it?
Well, several things. Your word choice, certainly, but also pitch, volume, pacing, the use of pauses, and emphasis. For instance, expressing genuine gratitude involves words like thoughtful, deeply grateful, but it needs to be delivered with a sincere and warm tone to land properly. Conversely, perhaps a harsher tone, maybe reserved for situations requiring authority, necessitates a slower pace, slightly lower pitch, clear, thoughtful words, and controlled volume. That needs to be combined with firm eye contact as well. The key there is maintaining composure. Emotional outbursts will just lessen the severity.
Right.
The voice truly has the power to touch people deeply, fostering harmony, real connection, and deep conversation.
So bringing all these elements together, the smile, the eye contact, body language, tone, it really boils down to one thing: your overall approachability. What's the secret to exuding that warmth and openness that truly invites connection?
Approachability is essentially about projecting warmth and openness, making it easy for others to engage with you. It certainly involves those external cues we've discussed: a genuine smile, warm greetings, maintaining eye contact, an open, relaxed posture. But beyond these, the real secret, I think, lies in active listening and genuine empathy.
So it goes deeper than just the surface signal.
Much deeper. It's about truly hearing other stories and responding with understanding, ensuring your full presence makes them feel appreciated and heard. Asking those open-ended questions we'll touch on encourages deeper responses. And finding shared interests or common ground further builds that connection. Crucially, patience and attentiveness are vital. Never interrupt. Allow others to express themselves fully. Maintain an open mind and a calm attitude. Avoid negative body language like crossing your arms or appearing tense. And importantly, don't form snap opinions based on others' perspectives or trivialize their contributions. Everyone deserves compassion and respect.
That's very important.
These gestures cultivate an inclusive, welcoming aura, kindling relationships based on trust and mutual respect.
Okay, so once we've established that approachability, the next vital foundation for any truly meaningful exchange is giving your full attention. This isn't just about hearing, is it? It's about active listening. How does this go beyond simple auditory reception?
You're absolutely right. Active listening goes far, far beyond simply hearing words. It means giving the speaker your complete and undivided attention, being fully present in the moment and genuinely interested in what they're saying.
Which is harder than it sounds sometimes with all the distractions.
It is. It means avoiding distractions, and yes, that often means putting your phone away, or at least on silent. By focusing solely on the speaker, you demonstrate profound respect and validate their thoughts and feelings. This level of attentiveness not only deepens your understanding of their message, but significantly enhances the quality of the conversation and the connection you build.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine being in a coffee shop with a friend, and they're sharing something important. If you're maintaining eye contact, nodding appropriately, offering affirmative responses like or I see, your full presence makes them feel appreciated and truly heard. You pick up on nuances in their speech, their tone, their body language that would otherwise be completely missed.
Right.
This fosters trust, creates a comfortable environment for free expression, and it can even offer, well, almost therapeutic benefits just by being truly present for someone. It's a mindful and empathetic practice.
And with that deep attention, we can then steer conversations to new depths by encouraging meaningful responses. This is where open-ended questions come in, isn't it? What's the subtle art of crafting these questions to unlock deeper insights?
Precisely. Open-ended questions are invaluable. The subtle art is really in prompting elaboration, inviting the person to share more than just a simple yes or no. They typically begin with words like how, what, why, or phrases like tell me about or describe.
So instead of, did you enjoy your holiday?
Exactly. Ask, what were the most memorable moments from your holiday and what made them so special? Or rather than, did you like the film? Try, what aspects of the film resonated with you the most and why? And even a simple, are you okay, can be transformed into something more inviting, like, how are you truly feeling right now? Can you tell me more about what's on your mind?
That feels much more supportive.
It does. This approach makes the dialogue far more in-depth, leading to a much more profound comprehension of the speaker's viewpoint and often unearths surprising details and richer conversation.
Now, to truly respect that viewpoint, we must practice respectful listening, which means resisting the urge to interrupt. Why is patience so critical here? What's the deeper impact of allowing someone to finish their thoughts?
Interrupting.
Oh.
Well, it instantly disrupts the flow, doesn't it? And it can make the speaker feel completely disregarded, as if what they're saying isn't important. Patience is paramount. Allowing the speaker to express themselves fully before you respond demonstrates genuine interest and profound respect. It fosters an inclusive, collaborative atmosphere where everyone feels valued and heard.
And it helps us understand better, too.
Absolutely. That's the deeper impact on your understanding. It grants you the time to fully comprehend the message, including the emotional subtext, which then allows for more thoughtful and meaningful responses. Consider discussing a friend's job interview again. If you suppress the urge to interrupt, you fully absorb their anxiety during the preparation phase, maybe the nervousness during the interview itself, and then the excitement in their voice when they recount positive feedback. This complete absorption allows for a truly reflective and significant response when it's your turn to speak.
Right, you've actually heard the whole story.
Exactly. You demonstrate profound comprehension of their experience. You're not just waiting impatiently for your turn to talk, you're actively engaging with their full narrative.
This level of respect naturally leads to the next crucial element, empathy and understanding. How do we effectively convey that we truly get what someone is going through, especially when it's challenging?
Empathy is such a powerful tool for building genuine connections. It essentially means acknowledging and validating the speaker's feelings, showing you care and understand their experience, at least to the best of your ability. Importantly, this isn't necessarily about fixing their problem, but more about being with them in it, supporting them.
How do we show that?
Well, simple nonverbal cues like a nod can help. Or using phrases like, I see, I understand, or that must have been challenging, or that sounds really difficult. These demonstrate empathy. You create an atmosphere of trust and support that encourages open and honest expression. For example, if a colleague seems distraught, approaching them gently with something like, hey, I noticed you seem a bit down today. Is there anything wrong? Followed by validation like, I can understand how difficult that situation must be for you, can be very effective. Sometimes sharing a brief, relatable personal experience can further comfort them, perhaps. It's very normal to feel overwhelmed sometimes. I remember a time when I was in a similar situation. But you have to be careful not to make it about you.
Right, keep the focus on them.
Exactly. This approach fosters trust and builds positive relationships. The focus remains on identifying and responding to their feelings, allowing for deeper connections.
Finally, to solidify these foundations, we look for common ground. How do we quickly and easily find those shared interests or experiences that spark a deeper, more natural connection?
Identifying shared interests really does facilitate connection and deeper discussion. It lays the groundwork for meaningful conversation and helps people feel at ease quite quickly. When you find common interests, they act as immediate conversation starters, bridging that initial gap.
What are some easy ways to find them?
Well, two quick and easy ways come to mind. Firstly, cultural references, discussing familiar films, novels, songs, perhaps recent TV shows, or even current events. Sharing a laugh about something mutually known or talking about a recent news item creates an immediate connection. Secondly, mutual acquaintances. Mentioning a shared connection, if appropriate, often eases tension and puts people at ease. It can lead to a natural flow conversation about shared experiences or relationships. This method personalizes the engagement nicely. Beyond these, just expressing appreciation for their perspective, showing gratitude for their input, creates goodwill. And sometimes asking about shared values, perhaps significant ethical or philosophical similarities, can generate a quite profound sense of connection, although that might come later in a relationship.
Sure.
The goal isn't just surface-level chat. It's finding those pathways to truly meaningful engagement.
Okay, let's talk about small talk. It often gets a bad rap, doesn't it? But it's such a crucial stepping stone to deeper conversations. Let's start with the significance of staying informed. How does knowing what's happening in the world truly open doors to more engaging dialogue?
That's right. Small talk is often underestimated. Staying informed on current events and popular topics is a superb conversation starter. It often transforms those potentially awkward silences into engaging dialogues. It allows you to feel more comfortable in various social situations and gives you material to initiate interesting conversations.
So it's like having tools in your conversational toolkit.
Exactly. Being well-informed serves as an excellent icebreaker in both professional and social settings. It demonstrates an awareness of the world beyond your immediate concerns and helps develop social intelligence. This awareness enables you to gauge audience preferences, perhaps steer discussions towards topics that might resonate with the people you're talking to. It also facilitates connections with people from diverse backgrounds because global events, or even significant local ones, often unite individuals and foster mutual understanding. For instance, imagine you're at a party, perhaps a work event. Someone knowledgeable about a recent international development can spark a lively discussion even with a group of relative strangers. They might share their knowledge, leading to a deeper exploration of its complicated effects. And importantly, listening thoughtfully to others' perspectives further enriches the conversation. It makes you a thoughtful listener as well as an engaging speaker.
Right. It's not just about broadcasting what you know.
Not at all. It's about being present in the wider world, not just your immediate one, and using that awareness to connect.
Beyond just the topic, there's an art to introductions. We've all experienced a simple meet so-and-so, but there's an opportunity there to do so much more with well-placed context. How does a thoughtful introduction act as a conversational bridge?
Indeed, a simple name exchange often leaves immense potential unrealized. The art of introduction truly shines when a well-placed piece of context or shared interest is added. It transforms a routine encounter into, potentially, the start of a meaningful relationship or collaboration.
So how does it work as a bridge?
Well, these add-ons, as you might call them, act as bridges connecting individuals not just by name, but by shared interests, common goals, or pertinent background information. They provide an immediate hook. Instead of the basic, "Lisa, please meet Mark," a more purposeful introduction would be something like, "Lisa, I'd like to introduce you to Mark. Mark has vast experience with event organizing, which might be useful for you. Mark, Lisa is planning a charity gala and could perhaps use some of your insights." Ah, okay.
Oh.
That immediately gives them something concrete to talk about. Precisely. This example provides valuable context about Mark's expertise and Lisa's current project, immediately offering a starting point for conversation and enhancing the overall interaction. It prepaves the road for genuine connection.
And to make that conversation truly engaging, we move to sharing personal stories. Why is authenticity and perhaps a little vulnerability so effective in drawing people in and creating genuine connections?
Sharing personal stories or experiences is an excellent way to engage people and foster deeper connection. It reveals authenticity. It shows a bit of who you really are, not just your professional mask, perhaps. It creates a genuine setting. People connect with your stories through shared situations or emotions. Maybe they felt something similar or been in a comparable situation. This builds empathy and acceptance as they learn about your point of view and feelings.
Can you give an example?
Certainly. Perhaps recounting an unplanned cross-country road trip you took with friends and the unexpected connections you made with locals along the way. Sharing that demonstrates that stepping into the unknown can lead to life-changing experiences. You might then invite others to share if they've had similar spontaneous trips or chance encounters.
Opens the door.
Exactly. Such sharing makes conversations more interesting and memorable. It leaves a lasting impression by allowing others to understand your perspective and feelings. Don't be afraid to talk about your own experiences. They are your most unique asset in conversation.
Adding to that engagement, there's the universal connector, making people laugh. What's the power of humor in dialogue, especially when the situation might be a bit tense or formal?
Humor is incredibly powerful, used appropriately, of course. A well-timed joke or a funny, relevant comment can lighten the mood, ease tension, and make everyone feel more at ease. This is especially true when things feel a bit tight or awkward. Humor builds camaraderie through shared laughter, fostering a sense of friendship and shared experience.
And it makes things more memorable, too.
Definitely. It also makes conversations more memorable, leaving a lasting positive impression on everyone involved. Imagine a tense work meeting where everyone is perhaps a bit guarded or serious. A well-placed, relevant, funny story, maybe one that ties into the topic at hand, can immediately shift the atmosphere from strained to genuinely lighthearted.
Right, breaks the tension.
Precisely. As the laughter spreads, everyone starts to feel less stressed, and an unsaid sense of friendship or collegiality grows. Now that the ice has been broken, the subsequent discussion often has a more relaxed and positive tone. This shows how well-timed humor can not only ease stress, but also bring people together and create a memorable, positive experience. Don't be afraid to be lighthearted when it fits. Humor makes interactions more interesting and deepens connections.
Speaking of connecting, a truly fundamental aspect of conversation, and one that drives genuine connection, is genuine curiosity. Why is asking and truly wanting to know so powerful?
Engaging with genuine curiosity about others and their experiences is, I believe, a profound approach to developing meaningful connections. When you show real, authentic interest in people's lives, their beliefs, their points of view, you foster an environment that feels friendly and openly communicative.
It makes them feel valued.
Absolutely. This makes them feel appreciated and heard, which in turn leads to more genuine interactions. People can usually sense when curiosity is faked. Curiosity also fosters empathy and understanding because it allows you to gain perspective on others' experiences. It helps bridge divides and connect with people from a variety of backgrounds, promoting mutual respect. And personally, I think it transforms conversation into a lifelong learning journey. You expand your comprehension of the world through the exchange of information and experiences.
That's a lovely way to put it.
So maintaining an attitude of real curiosity throughout your conversations will enable you to have much more effective and enriching exchanges.
While curiosity is key, there's definitely a line we shouldn't cross, especially with new acquaintances. We're talking about sensitive topics here. How do we navigate these without creating barriers or making anyone uncomfortable?
You're right. Navigating this requires sensitivity. When first meeting new people, it's generally crucial to be cautious and avoid potentially sensitive or controversial topics. Things like deeply held religious beliefs or partisan politics often fall into this category.
Why is that so important initially?
Because it creates a safe and friendly atmosphere where everyone can feel at ease. It allows trust to build organically. Instead of diving into contentious areas, the focus should be on finding common ground and building rapport, making connections more comfortable initially. Respecting these limits and then gradually deepening conversations over time as trust develops leads to more thoughtful and meaningful exchanges later on.
So maybe an example.
Okay, let's say you're at a networking event or a neighbor's gathering. Instead of launching into a discussion about a divisive political issue, you might ask something neutral and interest-based. Perhaps, "I've heard there's a new art display in town. Have you had the opportunity to look into it yet?" Or, "I've always had a lot of fun experimenting with different ways of expressing my artistic side. Have you ever tried your hand at painting or any other creative pursuits?"
Right, much safer ground.
Exactly. This avoids contentious topics and instead focuses on potentially uniting ones like art or hobbies. It fosters an atmosphere that is more receptive to openness and ease, establishing a pleasant tone and opening the way for more relaxed and enjoyable conversations.
Moving beyond generalities, the most impactful conversations are often personalized. How do we tailor our topics to fit specific individuals, truly making them feel seen and heard?
Customizing topics to fit individual interests and backgrounds is a fantastic way to deepen connections. It shows you're paying attention to them as a person. By identifying what people enjoy, what they do for fun, their work, their passions, you can find unique, relatable topics that resonate specifically with them.
So it's about observation and listening.
Very much so. This approach not only uncovers commonalities, but also fosters rapport and mutual understanding. When we show genuine interest in their thoughts and experiences, it encourages openness and trust, creating a safe space for dialogue. Of course, awareness of cultural differences is also important here, ensuring conversations remain respectful and open. Diversifying topics based on the individual makes interactions more interesting and leads to greater mutual learning. Imagine meeting a new colleague. Let's call him Alex. You notice a photograph on his desk, maybe a stunning landscape.
Yeah.
Instead of generic small talk, asking about his interest in photography immediately makes the conversation personal. Alex might become quite excited, discussing favorite locations, techniques, maybe the story behind that specific photo. You might then share your own travel or photography adventures. This shared interest creates a much deeper link and paves the way for future discussions and potential collaboration.
And as we personalize conversations, we also need to be adept at understanding emotions beyond just the words. What crucial role do nonverbal cues play here, and how do we learn to interpret that silent language?
Understanding nonverbal cues is absolutely essential for grasping people's true feelings. Often, what's not said is more telling than what is. Observing facial expressions, a fleeting frown, a tight smile, and body language, slumped shoulders, fidgeting hands, leaning in, reveals much more than spoken words alone. It allows us to decipher unspoken emotions.
And this helps prevent misunderstandings.
Greatly. This ability enhances connection and prevents misunderstandings. It builds trust because it demonstrates genuine engagement and active listening. You're noticing the whole person, not just their words. Being conscious of emotional differences allows for appropriate interpretation within context.
Can you give some examples of responding to these cues?
Sure. In a work setting, if a coworker looks visibly frustrated whilst working on a project, instead of ignoring it, you might gently say, "I can see that you might be having some difficulties with the project. Is there anything you'd want to talk about, or perhaps anything I could assist with?" Or with a friend who seems unusually reserved, you could softly ask, "I've observed that you seem a bit quiet lately. I was just wondering if you had something on your mind that you'd be willing to discuss."
That sounds very caring.
These responses acknowledge the observed feelings without making assumptions. They create a secure environment for the other person to open up if they choose to, demonstrating empathy and fostering deeper connections. The primary emphasis is placed on identifying and responding to the feelings others might be experiencing.
Moving to group settings, active participation is crucial. How do we ensure we're contributing meaningfully and encouraging others to do the same, making group conversations truly dynamic rather than dominated by one or two voices?
Active participation is essential for successful group interactions. It encourages collaboration and fuels interesting discussions. It's a balancing act. By expressing your own thoughts clearly and, just as importantly, inviting others to do the same, you help foster an environment where diverse viewpoints can thrive.
So it's about both speaking and enabling.
Exactly. Your contributions add new perspectives, potentially leading to more creative solutions or richer understanding. And actively engaging with others' ideas, building on them, asking clarifying questions, builds teamwork and unity. It keeps the conversation engaging and useful for everyone. By encouraging active participation from all members, you can improve group interactions, come up with ideas that everyone feels ownership of, and ensure everyone has a more positive experience.
Any practical examples?
Let's take a college seminar, maybe on climate change. Actively participating means perhaps raising your hand to share a relevant article you read on solar power advancements when renewable energy comes up. That sparks lively conversation. It also means building on a classmate's point, perhaps offering a slightly different perspective, all whilst maintaining eye contact around the group and nodding to show attentiveness when others speak. And perhaps at the end, summarizing some key takeaways or highlighting the importance of a point someone else made enhances the dialogue for the entire class. It enriches the learning experience for all.
Finally, two elements that can truly elevate any interaction: gratitude and compliments. How do these simple acts create a profoundly positive, welcoming atmosphere? And what's the secret to making them sound genuine and not, well, fake?
Practicing gratitude and giving genuine compliments are vital for fostering an upbeat and welcoming environment. They seem small, but their impact can be significant. By acknowledging appreciation, saying thank you meaningfully, and pointing out others' strengths or positive contributions, we spread happiness and strengthen relationships. These acts of kindness boost self-esteem, encourage people to continue doing their best, and create a supportive atmosphere where individuals feel valued and encouraged.
And the secret to genuineness?
Specificity and sincerity. Vague compliments can sound hollow. Instead of just, "good job," try being specific. For example, perhaps Sarah thanks Mark in a team meeting for his excellent work on a recent project. She could praise his specific hard work, his creativity on a certain aspect, or his attention to detail in the final report. That specificity makes Mark feel genuinely proud and confident.
Right, it shows you actually noticed.
Precisely. And his reciprocal thanks for her support or collaboration would further enhance team spirit. This back and forth of specific appreciation makes the team feel good, boosting morale and helping them get along better. Thoughtful compliments, even personal ones if appropriate, like "you have such a captivating smile, it really brightens up the room," or "I really admire your resilience and your ability to overcome challenges," or perhaps "your positive energy is infectious," strengthen connections, lift spirits, and build trust and respect.
So they're not just empty words.
Not at all. They're investments in your relationships and the overall atmosphere.
Okay, now we move into building personal power in communication. Let's start with a surprisingly effective technique for building confidence. Self-observation. How can simply speaking to our reflection or recording ourselves actually enhance our communication skills?
It might sound a bit strange initially, but self-observation through mirror practice or recording oneself is a remarkably powerful way to build self-confidence in speaking. By confidently facing their own reflection, individuals create a safe, private space for growth and improvement without external judgment.
So what does mirror practice help with specifically?
Mirror practice helps refine speaking skills. You can see your articulation. It helps you work on your body language. Are you slumping? Are you fidgeting? And it can help overcome the fear of public speaking by desensitizing you to seeing yourself speak. Hearing and seeing oneself speak clearly and confidently, even if it feels forced at first, gradually boosts self-assurance. The mirror acts as a helpful, non-critical ally, assisting people to improve their communication skills and build a positive mental picture of themselves.
And recording yourself, how does that add to it?
Self-recording, perhaps using a smartphone or webcam, gives you a unique, objective perspective that the mirror can't quite capture, particularly your vocal qualities. It involves finding a tranquil environment, maybe imagining an audience, and delivering your speech or practicing conversation calmly and naturally for authenticity. Each session is an opportunity for personal growth and learning. You can spot things like filler words, notice your vocal modulation, or assess your body language more objectively. You celebrate the small achievements, maybe eliminating filler words, maybe improving your posture.
Right, you get to be the audience.
Exactly. Consistency is key for tracking advancement. It's really about becoming your own best coach, identifying areas for improvement in a low-stakes way.
Beyond these external techniques, controlling our internal state is vital. Breathing exercises and positive affirmations are often mentioned as fundamental for vocal training and confidence. How do they work together to create inner composure?
They work beautifully in tandem, creating a really robust inner foundation for confident communication. Proper breathing techniques, focusing on diaphragmatic breathing, significantly improve vocal pronunciation and control.
How do you practice that?
You start in a comfortable position, taking slow, deep breaths, allowing the diaphragm to fully expand. Hold briefly, then exhale gradually and controllably. Once comfortable with the breath itself, you can add gentle vocalizations on the exhale, maybe a soft sound progressing to humming or perhaps lip trills. This strengthens breath support and vocal prowess, leading to noticeable improvements in vocal range, tone, and pronunciation over time.
And the affirmations. Simultaneously, regularly incorporating positive affirmations can be revolutionary for enhancing communication confidence. Simple phrases like, "I am a good communicator," or "I express myself clearly and confidently," or "I am capable of having meaningful conversations." These are potent tools to modify your self-perception and reinforce self-assurance. Reciting these daily, perhaps even looking in the mirror while doing so, especially before critical talks, builds a mental structure promoting those positive traits. Visualization is crucial here, too vividly. Imagining successful, interesting dialogues boosts self-confidence, preparing you mentally for real-life communication obstacles. It's about training both your body and your mind for confidence.
With all these tools, it becomes clear that purposeful communication requires setting specific, achievable goals. How do we make these objectives concrete and actionable rather than just vague aspirations like "get better at talking"? That's a key point. Setting concrete communication goals and actively working towards them is the most effective way to drive personal development. Vagueness doesn't help. It's about precision. First, identify specific areas needing work. Perhaps it's becoming more assertive, or improving active listening skills, or reducing filler words. Then, set specific and attainable goals related to that area. For instance, I will practice active listening by summarizing the speaker's points in my next 3 team meetings, or I will consciously pause instead of using or when I present next week.
So break it down into manageable steps.
Exactly. Break these larger objectives down into smaller, manageable steps and consciously integrate them into your daily activities and interactions. Seeking feedback from trusted individuals, friends, mentors, colleagues can provide valuable insights and help adjust your strategy. And maintaining a simple communication log or journal can allow you to monitor your development and provide a space for reflection on what worked and what didn't.
What are some common goals people set?
Common goals include things like enhancing clarity of speech by focusing on articulation, consciously using more positive, solution-oriented language, cultivating effective questioning skills, gaining confidence in public speaking through preparing solid outlines and practicing delivery, or even expanding vocabulary by regularly exposing yourself to new terms through reading or podcasts. It's a continuous, measurable process of improvement.
One of the hallmarks of confident communication is eliminating those pesky filler words, the ums, the hofus, the likes. This isn't just about sounding polished, is it? It's about the profound impact it has on your message and how you're perceived.
It's absolutely about impact. Eliminating filler words like and like is essential for projecting unshakable confidence and achieving truly effective communication. When you speak without these verbal hesitancies, it highlights an unwavering belief in what you're saying. It makes your words more impactful and intriguing, lending an air of refined professionalism and clarity.
And what should we do instead? Just leave silence.
Pauses. Replacing these fillers with deliberate, brief pauses is incredibly effective. It allows you time to gather your thoughts, and it also serves to emphasize key points. It blends intentionality seamlessly into your speech. This ensures your message resonates with greater depth and gives the listener time to process too. Think about it. Crafting a conversational symphony that resonates with sincerity and accuracy requires thoughtful articulation and the elimination of unnecessary fillers. Your audience will remember the confidence you exude, which persuades with authority and projects to precise, accurate messaging.
Can you give a quick before and after?
Sure. Instead of, I was trying to explain the project details to the team. It was kind of challenging. I was explaining the project details to the team, and it presented a challenge. Or even just explaining the project details to the team was challenging.
Much clearer, much more direct.
The difference in clarity and authority is profound.
And with that clarity comes the ability to practice assertiveness. Why is speaking up for oneself confidently, but without aggression, so crucial? And what's the fine line we need to walk there?
Assertiveness is one of the most important aspects of successful communication, I'd argue. It enables you to speak up and convey your opinions, needs, and boundaries confidently, but crucially, without resorting to aggression or passivity. It allows precise and timely articulation of your thoughts, desires, and boundaries. An assertive approach significantly improves your chances of navigating challenging situations effectively, negotiating favorable compromises, and cultivating healthier relationships both personally and professionally.
It encourages more honest conversations.
Exactly. This kind of communication encourages conversations that are open and truthful. It's not just about expressing your viewpoint, but expressing exactly what you mean, respectfully. For instance, in a team project where you feel uncomfortable with the current direction, instead of remaining silent, passive, or complaining aggressively, an assertive stance allows you to make useful contributions. You'd raise your concerns calmly and clearly, perhaps offer viable alternatives to the current strategy, whilst also acknowledging any virtues of the existing plan.
So it's constructive.
Precisely. This kind of direct, respectful speech encourages people to share their thoughts and feelings openly, which in turn improves teamwork and often leads to better outcomes. The fine line is always in focusing on the issue or the behavior, not attacking the person. Respect is key.
A key tool for assertiveness, as often mentioned, is the power of I statements. Why does starting sentences with I feel or I think make such a dramatic difference in how your message is received compared to you statements?
Learning to convey feelings and perspectives using I statements is essential for effective, assertive communication because it fundamentally shifts the dynamic of the conversation. It reduces defensiveness. Beginning with I feel or I think accepts ownership and responsibility for those sentiments or thoughts. It removes the element of criticism or blame from the recipient, which you statements often imply.
Can you give an example?
Of course.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, you never listen to me, which immediately puts the other person on the defensive. Try saying, I feel unheard when I'm interrupted during our conversations.
This nurtures conversation by sharing your personal experience and feelings non-confrontationally.
Right. It's about your experience, not their feeling.
Exactly. Statements encourage attentive listening and empathy from the receiver because they demonstrate that the speaker is merely expressing their own viewpoint or feeling without attacking the other person. This fosters constructive discourse, strengthens friendships and working relationships, and enables creative problem-solving. They help you communicate with more conviction, cultivate mutual appreciation, and enhance relationship strength.
What about in a work context?
Sure. If your ideas seem to be continuously disregarded in team meetings, instead of saying, you always ignore my ideas, you might say, I've noticed that my contributions haven't seemed to get much attention recently, and I feel like my input might be undervalued. I'd really appreciate it if my suggestions could also be taken into consideration. This conveys your thoughts and feelings without assigning blame, fostering open discussion rather than defensiveness.
And finally, a challenging but incredibly empowering aspect of assertiveness, not being afraid to say no. How does graceful refusal actually strengthen boundaries in relationships rather than potentially damaging them?
The ability to say no gracefully is absolutely fundamental to assertiveness and maintaining healthy boundaries. Many people struggle with this. It entails clearly communicating your preferences, limitations, or demands without resorting to rudeness, excessive apology, or resentment. It's about prioritizing your well-being and capacity and avoiding excessive stress or overcommitment.
How do you do it politely but firmly?
To be politely assertive when declining, one must consider the other person's feelings, perhaps acknowledge their request positively first, maintain good eye contact, and speak clearly and calmly. Saying no courteously protects your time and energy, and crucially, it displays self-respect. This leads to less stress and, counterintuitively perhaps, better interactions in the long run as people learn to respect your boundaries. It helps strike a healthy balance between helping others and necessary self-care.
So it builds trust in your reliability.
Yes, because people know where they stand with you. Learning to set limits forcefully but politely actually helps relationships blossom because they're built on honesty and mutual respect. Imagine a colleague asks for last-minute help on a project, but you genuinely have a full workload. Instead of just agreeing and becoming overwhelmed or mumbling an excuse, respond with polite assertiveness, perhaps. Thank you so much for thinking of me for this project. I really appreciate the opportunity. However, I currently have several urgent commitments that need my full attention right now. Unfortunately, I won't be able to take on this additional task at the moment. If there's anything else I might be able to assist with in the future when my schedule is clearer, please feel free to reach out.
That sounds very reasonable.
It expresses appreciation while clearly stating limitations. It communicates boundaries without guilt or dismissiveness, respecting both your needs and the other person's request.
And underpinning all of this confidence and assertiveness truly is honest authenticity. Why is being yourself, being genuine, the very first step to making real, lasting connections?
Authenticity. It means aligning your actions, your words, and your goals with your true self. Staying true to your core ideals, beliefs, and feelings, regardless of external pressures or the desire to fit in. In a world that often pushes for conformity, using your own genuine voice and personality is incredibly refreshing and, frankly, attractive.
Why is it attractive?
Because authenticity sounds truthful and earnest. When you speak as your true self, you exude a natural confidence that draws people closer. People can usually detect honesty and sincerity, and that inherently builds trust and friendship. To be authentic, of course, you must first know yourself reasonably well. Reflect on your passions, your strengths, your weaknesses, your values. This self-knowledge forms the foundation of honest dialogue. Then it's about releasing the need to constantly please everyone or fit into a mold that isn't you. Embrace what makes you different.
So speak your mind.
Speak your true thoughts, feelings, and beliefs appropriately, of course. Don't be afraid to voice your mind respectfully and share relevant experiences to strengthen connections. Authenticity also includes vulnerability. It's acceptable, even powerful, to discuss struggles and flaws sometimes. Being real is what makes someone authentic, not being perfect. Listening is also part of being authentic. Pay genuine attention to others. Your authentic interest builds trust. Respect others' ideas whilst remaining true to yourself, conveying your thoughts sensitively. Fear of rejection can hinder authenticity, that's natural. But remember, the most important and lasting ties are usually with those who appreciate you for who you truly are.
Can you paint a picture?
Imagine going to a party or a networking event and consciously choosing to be yourself instead of trying to impress or fit in with what you think others expect. You fearlessly share your genuine interests, hobbies, maybe even a quirky opinion. As you talk with enthusiasm and honesty, people are often drawn to your genuine willingness to share. This builds comfort and facilitates real friendship. By being yourself, you often encourage others to do the same, creating an atmosphere of genuine connection.
Communication isn't always smooth sailing, is it? Let's discuss overcoming barriers, starting with how to gradually work your way up to more challenging social interactions. For those who find new social settings daunting, what's a strategic, less overwhelming way to build confidence?
You're right, it can be very challenging. For many people, engaging in conversations, especially with new people or in unfamiliar settings, can be quite daunting. But like any skill, social interaction can be cultivated incrementally. The strategy is really about gradual exposure and starting where you feel safest.
So leveraging familiarity.
Exactly. Start by reaching out to people you already know and feel comfortable with friends, perhaps supportive coworkers, or acquaintances you have a good rapport with. Initiating conversations in this safe space allows you to practice and refine your communication skills without high stakes. You can gradually chip away at shyness in a low-pressure environment. Adopt a casual, informal approach. Discuss mutual interests or shared experiences. These create instant common ground and make conversation flow more easily.
And these small successes build momentum.
Precisely. These interactions build conversational self-assurance. Each small victory serves as a stepping stone, instilling the belief that you can navigate social scenarios with more finesse. Every small step contributes to overall growth, building a stronger foundation for eventually interacting with new individuals or more challenging settings. It's a journey, requiring patience and consistent small steps to break down those barriers of shyness or anxiety.
A practical step that complements that strategy is joining social clubs or groups based on interests. How do these environments specifically help improve communication skills and overcome social anxieties in a structured way?
Joining social clubs or groups linked to your hobbies or interests provides a fantastic, supportive environment for regular practice. The shared interest is key. These settings naturally offer opportunities to discuss meaningful topics, things you actually care about, and meet like-minded individuals, which immediately lowers the barrier to connection.
The shared activity helps break the ice.
Definitely. Participating in shared activities, whether it's a book club, a hiking group, a language class, naturally breaks the ice. It simplifies the initiation of conversation and rapport building because you instantly have something in common to talk about. Within these groups, members can often develop public speaking or presentation skills in a low-pressure way, expand their social networks organically, and discover new avenues for self-improvement and confidence building.
What kind of groups work well?
Oh, there are so many options. Things like Toastmasters International are great for structured public speaking practice. Improvisational theater groups can be brilliant for spontaneity and thinking on your feet. Meetup groups cover almost any hobby, imaginable board games, photography, hiking, book clubs. Language exchange groups boost confidence in speaking another language. Volunteering connects people with shared values. Even fitness classes or sports leagues offer social opportunities.
Right.
The key is finding a group that genuinely matches your comfort level and interests. They offer supportive settings for practice, relationship building, and overcoming shyness without the intense pressure of more formal or unstructured social settings.
Once engaged in conversation, the talent of asking inviting questions becomes paramount. We've touched on open-ended questions for personal connection, but why are they so crucial for fruitful intellectual exchanges as well, not just getting to know you chat?
Asking open-ended, inviting questions is a critical component of effective communication across the board, enabling greater understanding and particularly fruitful intellectual exchanges. It demonstrates active engagement and a genuine desire to comprehend the other person's viewpoint or the nuances of a complex topic.
How does it help avoid misunderstandings?
Firstly, it prevents jumping to quick assumptions or inaccurate conclusions. By encouraging elaboration, it ensures a more thorough understanding, significantly improving the quality of the conversation and avoiding costly misunderstandings, especially in professional or academic contexts. Secondly, asking good questions shows an openness to new information and a readiness to learn, which cultivates positive rapport and trust, even during debate or disagreement. Questions prompt elaboration, which enriches the dialogue for everyone. Thirdly, thoughtful questions allow you to easily integrate your own points into conversations and contribute to the natural flow of ideas. This is especially useful in professional contexts where precision is vital across squad questions. Improve clarity and help align perspectives effectively.
So it deepens the exchange.
It absolutely does. It improves your ability to pique interest and strengthen interpersonal ties. It gives you the capacity to investigate topics in depth, expand comprehension, and actively participate in the collaborative dissemination of information. It transforms interactions into purposeful, illuminating, and truly fruitful exchanges.
Can you give a few examples of inviting open-ended questions?
Certainly. Perhaps something like, what's your perspective on the main challenge we're facing here? Or can you elaborate on why you think that approach would be most effective? Or how might we look at this problem from a different angle? Or tell me more about the reasoning behind that conclusion. Or what potential implications haven't we considered yet? These invite deeper thought.
In our increasingly globalized world, language barriers are common. How do we turn these potential obstacles into opportunities for deeper connection, understanding, and collaboration, rather than just sources of frustration?
Language barriers are indeed fascinating challenges, but also essential components of effective global interaction today. Approached correctly, they absolutely become opportunities for collaboration and enhanced understanding. When misunderstandings arise due to language, tools like translation services and skilled interpreters become communication heroes, don't they? Accurate language conversion gives written documents new life, allowing complex ideas to be understood accurately worldwide. Interpreters facilitate real-time discussions, weaving threads of understanding between diverse voices, ensuring all perspectives can be shared and respected. It's like conducting a symphony of different languages to create a beautiful song of cooperation and mutual acceptance. Businesses can navigate international markets more easily, researchers can collaborate globally, stronger relationships can be built, all by utilizing these linguistic bridges.
Can you illustrate that?
Consider a major international scientific conference, maybe on climate change as we mentioned earlier. Scientists from around the world gather. Despite numerous language barriers, skilled interpreters seamlessly translate speeches, Q&A sessions, and presentations. This enables everyone to contribute their expertise and comprehend complex data from different regions and disciplines. This vital exchange of information, facilitated by overcoming the language barrier, fosters connection, builds collective accountability, and ultimately leads to novel approaches and solutions. It's about leveraging tools to ensure every voice can contribute meaningfully.
Conflict is pretty much inevitable in any significant relationship or team effort. How do we approach conflict resolution not just as a problem to be solved, but as a communication skill to be developed, turning potential breakdowns into opportunities for stronger bonds?
That's a vital reframing. Conflict resolution is a crucial communication skill set. It teaches individuals how to navigate disagreements constructively by focusing on mutual understanding. It involves actively listening to each other, genuinely trying to understand different points of view, even if you don't agree with them, and working together collaboratively to find solutions that address the core needs of everyone involved, where possible.
How can we practice this?
Through conscious practice, maybe even role-playing scenarios, individuals learn to communicate more effectively during disagreements and improve their problem-solving abilities. These are incredibly valuable skills in academic life, personal relationships, and professional settings. It's like developing a superpower that helps people work together more productively in a positive, understanding setting, even when they disagree.
Do you have a personal example?
Yes. In a past group assignment during my studies, a significant debate arose between two team members about the project's fundamental direction. Tension was building. Instead of letting it escalate or taking sides, I approached each person separately. I actively listened to their concerns, trying to understand the why behind their position without judgment. I then helped them see each other's perspectives. Following that, I proposed a potential middle ground solution that incorporated elements from both their ideas. This experience demonstrated that addressing disagreements head-on, with empathy and a focus on understanding, can lead to inventive solutions and actually increase team cohesiveness afterwards.
That's powerful.
It is. This ability has proven incredibly useful time and again in managing differences and nurturing harmonious relationships. It's about finding shared paths forward, not just winning an argument.
And a crucial skill for navigating all these diverse interactions, different personalities, cultures, conflict situations, is adapting your communication style. Why is this chameleon-like flexibility so important for building rapport and ensuring your message lands effectively?
Adapting your communication style to specific individuals and circumstances is absolutely essential. It's not about being inauthentic, but about being effective and respectful. It's somewhat like dressing differently for different occasions. You wouldn't wear the same thing to a board meeting as you would to a casual barbecue. Adapting allows you to interact effectively with varying personalities, communication preferences, and cultural backgrounds.
So it helps others feel comfortable.
Precisely. This flexibility allows you to better comprehend others' needs and preferences, making them feel more at ease and respected. Whether you're in a formal business discussion with a senior manager or a relaxed, friendly chat with a close friend, adjusting your communication ensures your message is well received and understood in the way you intend. This adaptability is like a communication superpower. It allows you to cultivate deeper relationships, promote inclusiveness in groups, and handle complex social or professional situations with greater ease and finesse.
Could you give examples of adapting style?
Sure. 5 quick examples. 1. Business setting. Use a polished professional tone, be relatively brief, factual, and avoid overly casual language or slang. 2. Friends get together. Casual, relaxed, easygoing tone. Share personal stories, use humor freely, engage in more informal conversation. 3. Interactions between different cultures. Be mindful of potential cultural nuances in directness, nonverbal cues, or humor. Choose words carefully, avoid confusing local references, show genuine interest and respect for their background. 4. Explaining complex ideas, example, teaching or training. Simplify language, use clear examples or analogies, check for understanding frequently, consider varying levels of prior knowledge in the audience. 5. Conflict resolution. Use a calm, empathetic, and understanding tone. Focus heavily on active listening. Ask open-ended questions to understand their perspective. Be diplomatic to find a mutually agreeable solution.
Right.
In all situations, adapting your style helps you connect, understand others better, and handle social dynamics effectively, communicating with impact and sensitivity.
To make our points truly land, especially when explaining complex information or presenting data, using visual imagery can be incredibly powerful. How do things like charts, graphs, or presentation slides enhance communication beyond just providing the raw data?
Including appropriate visual aids like charts, graphs, or well-designed slides in presentation significantly enhances communication because they leverage how our brains naturally process information. We're very visual creatures. Visuals help your audience understand complex information more easily and often care more about what you're saying. They condense potentially overwhelming data into clear, digestible, and memorable representations.
They capture attention too, right?
Absolutely. They capture attention, break the potential monotony of just listening to someone speak, and can help keep you, the speaker, organized and on track. However, there's a caveat. Visual aids must be pertinent to your message, easily understood, not overly cluttered or complex, and visually engaging without being distracting. Simplicity is often key. When used effectively, presentations become more impactful, more fascinating, and frankly, easier for the audience to grasp and retain.
What kinds of visuals work well?
Many kinds. Presentation slides, like PowerPoint or Keynote, provide structure with text, images, charts. Bar charts, pie charts, line graphs are excellent for showing trends, comparisons, proportions. Infographics can present information-rich ideas in a visually appealing way. Diagrams like flowcharts or mind maps show connections and processes. Relevant images and photos evoke emotion or provide context. Short video clips can offer demonstrations. Even physical props or models can be effective for hands-on illustration. The key is choosing the right visual for the specific point you want to make.
And perhaps the most crucial skill for ongoing personal growth in communication, being open to feedback. Why is actively seeking and accepting feedback so vital for honing our abilities? And how do we truly embrace it as a gift rather than criticism?
Being receptive to feedback is arguably one of the most vital components of continuously honing communication skills throughout our lives. We can't always see ourselves as others do. Actively soliciting input from trusted others and remaining genuinely open to constructive criticism provides an unparalleled opportunity for identifying blind spots and making real improvements.
So feedback is like a mirror.
Exactly. It's like a reflection, highlighting strengths you can build on, and importantly, areas needing growth that you might not perceive yourself. The key is to try and consider it informative and helpful data, rather than a personal attack. Maintain a receptive mind and heart. Listen carefully to others' perspectives, as they may offer angles you hadn't considered. Constructive criticism that reveals areas for growth is your most powerful tool for personal development. Remember, feedback isn't usually intended as a judgment of your inherent worth, but rather as information to help you get better. Try not to let it hinder you or make you defensive. Use it as a stepping stone, not an obstacle. And over time, this helps dramatically. As you listen, reflect, and adjust based on useful feedback, you'll become a more effective and adaptable communicator, handling discussions and presentations with greater ease and skill. Your capacity to connect and convey your message will significantly improve if you can genuinely approach feedback as a gift for growth.
To manage the internal anxieties that can sometimes be significant communication barriers, practicing mindfulness is often recommended and highly effective. How do techniques like meditation and deep breathing help us remain composed and present, especially in challenging conversations or public speaking?
Mindfulness is incredibly effective for lowering anxiety in social or public settings. Techniques like meditation and focused deep breathing serve as powerful tools, almost like an internal anchor, helping you remain centered and composed during potentially stressful conversations or presentations.
How does meditation help specifically?
Meditation trains you to focus your attention and become aware of your thoughts and emotions without judgment. This allows you to stay present in the moment, reducing worries about past mistakes or anticipating future negative outcomes, which often fuel anxiety. Deep breathing, particularly slow, diaphragmatic breathing, acts as a direct physiological anchor. It helps regulate your nervous system, calming the fight-or-flight response, and promoting a sense of calm by engaging the parasympathetic nervous system.
So it's about managing the physical and mental response.
Yes. Integrating mindfulness practices into your daily routine helps you recognize the early warning signs of anxiety, perhaps a racing heart, shallow breathing, churning stomach before they escalate. This awareness enables you to constructively manage those nervous sensations and participate in conversations or presentations with greater self-assurance, presence, and authenticity. You become more attuned to your body's signals, allowing you to manage anxiety proactively. Embrace mindfulness as a reliable ally for navigating challenging social circumstances with greater ease and poise.
Finally, we come back to clear and concise language. Why is precision and brevity, saying what you mean effectively without unnecessary words, so powerful in communication, especially when we want to make a lasting impression?
Acknowledging your power as a communication architect means consciously constructing sentences that are clear, brief, and uncomplicated, especially when clarity is paramount. Selecting each word with care, avoiding superfluous complications, jargon, or rambling, allows you to concisely communicate your ideas with maximum impact. Like a seasoned storyteller or a skilled surgeon, you can captivate your audience and leave an indelible mark through precision. Language that is both precise and succinct is highly valued in professional contexts. It saves time, prevents costly misunderstandings, and conveys competence.
It projects confidence, too.
Absolutely. When you communicate with clarity and self-assurance, people are far more likely to take you seriously and respect your message. Embracing plain, clear, and simple language, which doesn't mean simplistic, but rather direct and understandable, will elevate your communication to new heights, allowing for profound and meaningful connections built on shared understanding.
How do we balance that with using rich vocabulary?
It's a balance. For example, instead of just saying, "I had a good time," using a more evocative word like, "I had an amazing experience," or "it was a thrilling journey," can convey greater enjoyment and nuance. However, avoid overly complicated or obscure language just for the sake of it. Instead of perhaps saying, "I embarked upon an exhilarating sojourn," simply saying, "I went on a really fun trip," might ensure your friends can actually follow along without feeling excluded or confused. The goal is to use interesting and precise vocabulary where appropriate, whilst always ensuring your audience can follow the journey of your conversation. Clarity should usually trump complexity.
Right, we've built the foundations, mastered small talk, boosted our confidence. Now, how do we adapt these skills to communicate effectively with anyone and everyone? Let's start with the subtle art of matching energy levels. How does that work?
Matching the energy level of the person you're speaking with is a subtle but powerful tactic for building rapport and forging deeper connections almost instantly. It operates on an unconscious level often. It shows you're tuned in, invested, and attentive to their emotional state and personality.
So if they're excited, you mirror that.
To a degree, yes. If someone is animated and enthusiastic, respond with similar appropriate enthusiasm in your voice, your movements, perhaps your facial expressions. Conversely, if they are calm, quiet, and reflective, adopt a comparable tone and tempo in your own speech. Don't overwhelm them. This mirroring or matching makes the other person feel understood and valued. It fosters a sense of harmony in the communication.
It creates resonance.
Exactly. Matching energy creates a shared emotional resonance, leading to higher engagement and often a deeper sense of connection, almost like you're in sync. However, and this is crucial, it must be genuine and truthful. People can usually sense inauthenticity or if you're performing, so it's about adapting within your own authentic range. Mixing appropriate energy matching with honesty boosts your ability to connect and build substantial relationships. It's about meeting people where they are, genuinely.
And perhaps just as important as matching energy is respecting comfort zones. How do we cultivate an atmosphere where everyone feels safe to engage without inadvertently pushing boundaries or making people feel uncomfortable?
Respecting comfort zones is paramount for trust. It involves consciously cultivating a warm, safe atmosphere that's conducive to meaningful exchanges, making everyone feel relaxed enough to be themselves. Think of it like recognizing a fragile boundary that needs to be approached with care and awareness.
How do we do that in practice?
Be aware when a topic might be sensitive or personal. Choose your words carefully. Think of them as soft pillows, ensuring they are attentive and compassionate. If you notice someone hesitate, look uncomfortable, or pull back, that's a cue. Slow down. Perhaps change the subject gently. Approach with caution. Patience and empathy are absolutely required here. It's like finding a secret key to unlocking deeper friendships and trust. As you practice this sensitivity, conversations within this secure area will flow more naturally, promoting understanding and mutual respect.
What are some specific strategies?
Well, ask and check. If you're unsure about boundaries, simply ask, is it okay if we discuss this topic? Or, would you like to share more about that? Or would you prefer to keep it private? Give them an easy out. Respect privacy. Keep sensitive information shared with you confidential. Maintain a non-judgmental attitude. Be open-minded when others share personal thoughts or feelings. Apologize and adjust. If you realize you've unintentionally crossed a boundary, apologize sincerely and adjust your approach immediately. And always seek consent before offering unsolicited advice or initiating physical contact like a hug. Respecting boundaries isn't about walking on eggshells. It's about showing you value the other person's well-being and feelings, which ultimately promotes trust, understanding, and much more positive connections.
What about encountering extroverts? For those of us who might be naturally more introverted or shy, interacting with very outgoing people can sometimes feel intimidating, but it also presents a unique opportunity, doesn't it?
It absolutely does present an opportunity. Extroverts often thrive on social interaction. Their enthusiasm can be like a bright spotlight on the conversation stage. They often love sharing stories and ideas, much like eager performers. Engaging with them can feel like joining a lively, dynamic dance. They bring a vibrant energy that can light up any gathering, often eager to connect and be the life of the party.
So how should introverts approach this?
Embrace their outgoing nature. Don't be intimidated by it. Join in with your own quiet enthusiasm, perhaps like joining a celebratory parade, but staying slightly towards the edge if that feels more comfortable initially. Their energy and openness can often lead to lively, memorable conversations, leaving you with a sense of connection and excitement that you might not have initiated yourself. For overcoming shyness specifically, interacting with extroverts provide valuable learning opportunities. Observe their confidence. Pay attention to how they initiate conversations, maintain eye contact, use body language to engage others. You can learn by watching. Participate in group activities. Engage in activities with extroverts. It pushes you gently out of your comfort zone and gives you practice interacting with multiple people in a lower pressure way than one-on-one perhaps. Seek advice. If you know an extrovert well, you could even ask them for tips on initiating conversations or managing shyness. Challenge your comfort zone. View these interactions as catalysts for growth, small experiments in stretching your social muscles. And crucially, remain authentic. Incorporate lessons learned without trying to fundamentally change your introverted nature. Authenticity is always key to meaningful connections. By actively engaging with extroverts, you can gradually overcome shyness and gain confidence on your own terms.
Now for the really tough situations. Handling difficult individuals, people who might be aggressive, overly critical, unresponsive, or just generally challenging to communicate with. This requires a specific set of strategies that go beyond typical communication skills, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Handling difficult people effectively demands a combination of patience, empathy, and very specific communication strategies, often deployed under pressure. Crucially, the first step is always to try and maintain your own composure to prevent the situation from escalating. Getting defensive or emotional rarely helps. Active listening becomes even more critical here, showing genuine interest in understanding their perspective, even if you strongly disagree with it.
Empathy seems hard in those moments.
It is, but attempting to understand the emotions or viewpoint behind their difficult behavior can help diffuse tension. It doesn't mean you agree, but it can create a more open atmosphere. Setting clear boundaries respectfully is vital. Communicate what behavior is unacceptable, but do it without personal attacks. Focus on the behavior, not the person. Use those I statements we discussed earlier. I feel uncomfortable when voices are raised, rather than, you're always shouting.
Focus on facts.
Focus on facts where possible. Redirect the conversation gently but firmly back to the main topic if it goes off track into personal attacks or irrelevant issues. And importantly, stay solution-focused where possible, aiming for productive outcomes rather than getting stuck in the conflict. It's also vital to recognize when a conversation is becoming toxic or completely unproductive and know when to disengage gracefully. You control your response, not theirs.
What are some specific tactics?
Redirecting the conversation. Gently get it back. Getting back to the main point. Staying solution-focused. Okay, how can we move forward on this? Recognizing toxicity. Be alert for patterns of personal attacks, constant defensiveness, escalating notions. Disengaging when necessary. Perhaps we should take a break and revisit this later when we're both calmer. Setting boundaries. I'm happy to discuss this, but I need us to speak respectfully to each other.
Seeking mediation. Involving a neutral third party, if emotions are too intense or perspectives too polarized, can be necessary sometimes. And importantly, try to learn from him. Learn from disagreements, seeing differing viewpoints as potentially valuable insights, even if poorly expressed. That example you mentioned earlier with Alex.
Yes, the manager dealing with the constantly disagreeing employee, Alex. By remaining calm, actively listening, and then offering specific choices that incorporated elements of Alex's concerns, the manager turned a potential confrontation into a constructive dialogue. That benefited both the project and the relationship.
And a core part of navigating those challenging interactions successfully is keeping your composure. What's the foundation of this ability to remain in control, even when faced with strong emotions or provocation from others?
Composure, that ability to maintain emotional and behavioral control in challenging or emotionally charged situations, really hinges on self-awareness as its foundation. This involves recognizing your own emotional triggers, those specific situations, words, behaviors, or even types of people that reliably provoke a strong emotional response in you. We all have them.
So knowing what pushes your buttons.
Yes, exactly. Identifying your personal triggers allows you to anticipate when they might occur and, crucially, develop proactive strategies for managing your emotional response more effectively when they do. Strategies for managing those feelings in the moment include prepare and plan ahead. If you know you're going into a potentially triggering situation, mentally prepare. Visualize yourself remaining calm and composed. Plan your potential responses. Calm through breathing exercises. Use slow, deep breathing to regulate your nervous system and stay grounded when you feel emotions rising. Being present and meditation. Mindfulness practices help you stay in the present moment, observing your thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by them, preventing negative thought patterns from spiraling. Cognitive reframing. Actively challenge negative or reactive thoughts. Try to offer yourself more level-headed interpretations of the situation. Take a break. If you feel yourself losing composure, don't be afraid to step away briefly. Can we pause for a moment to collect your thoughts before returning? And for deep-rooted triggers that significantly impact your well-being, seeking professional assistance like therapy can be incredibly beneficial.
When dealing with difficult individuals, you mentioned offering choices can transform a confrontational situation into a collaborative one. How exactly does this work psychologically, and why is it so effective?
Offering choices is a potent strategy in navigating conversations with challenging individuals, primarily because it taps into a fundamental human need for autonomy and control. When people feel backed into a corner or dictated to, they often become more defensive and resistant. By presenting a range of reasonable, tailored solutions or options, you give the difficult person a tangible sense of control over the outcome and an active role in the resolution process.
So it empowers them.
Precisely. It shifts the dynamic from you telling them what to do to you inviting them to participate in finding a way forward. For instance, if a team member consistently disagrees with proposed project approaches, instead of insisting on your single preferred method, you might offer 2 or 3 viable alternatives, perhaps explaining the pros and cons of each. This allows them to evaluate the options and express their preferences. It makes them feel heard and valued, which significantly reduces defensiveness and fosters cooperation towards finding a mutually agreeable path. The art of offering choices skillfully transforms potential confrontations into collaborative problem-solving discussions. It empowers both parties to navigate complexities and arrive at outcomes that respect each person's perspective, even if they started from very different places. In the Alex example, offering choices allowed Alex to feel involved and propose a hybrid solution, leading to a better outcome and increased team success. The psychological impact is moving from a power struggle to a shared challenge.
And closely related to offering choices is being solution-focused. How does shifting the conversation's energy away from dwelling on the problem's specifics and towards actively finding answers improve our conversational abilities, especially when dealing with difficult situations or people?
Concentrating on finding answers or solutions is one of the most important aspects of developing constructive conversational abilities, particularly when working with challenging individuals or tackling difficult problems. This strategy fundamentally shifts the conversation's focus and energy away from endlessly dissecting the problem, assigning blame, or lamenting past issues, and towards generating effective, forward-looking solutions.
So it stops you getting stuck in the negative.
No. Exactly. It prevents the conversation from becoming mired in negativity or unproductive finger-pointing. For example, if poor communication has been hindering teamwork, a solution-focused approach wouldn't dwell on listing every past misunderstanding. Instead, it would steer the discussion towards, okay, what specific steps can we take now to improve communication and teamwork going forward? This change of viewpoint not only prevents negativity, but also encourages active involvement from everyone in the problem-solving process. Framing conversations around potential solutions makes them inherently more constructive and fruitful. It fosters an atmosphere of collaboration and possibility, encouraging creative thinking and novel approaches. Ultimately, concentrating on solutions is one of the most effective strategies to enhance speaking and listening abilities in difficult contexts. It helps people listen more attentively to ideas, gain mutual comprehension, and generate creative solutions, leading to more meaningful, productive relationships, growth, understanding, and beneficial results. It transforms interactions into purposeful and illuminating exchanges.
You mentioned reciprocity earlier. The sign of an extraordinary conversationalist is often this sense of reciprocity. How does actively supporting a genuine two-way flow of ideas create truly dynamic, engaging exchanges rather than just a back-and-forth monologue or interrogation?
Reciprocity is indeed a defining characteristic of extraordinary conversationalists. It's fundamental to creating dynamic, significant, and mutually rewarding exchanges. They consciously establish and maintain an environment where both parties actively participate in a shared discourse. It's a dance, not a solo performance.
So it's about balance.
Very much so. A great conversationalist not only expresses their own thoughts clearly and engagingly, but also actively inquires about your perspective, genuinely inviting your contribution and listening attentively when you offer it. This balanced engagement imparts a sense of value to both participants and cultivates an environment conducive to the free exchange of ideas, resulting in a mutually enriching dialogue. Each participant benefits from exposure to different viewpoints, experiences, and knowledge. The back-and-forth nature ensures no single voice dominates, promoting respect for diverse opinions and fostering deeper understanding. Reciprocity enhances the quality of conversations immeasurably by ensuring everyone's voice is heard, valued, and contributes to a more balanced, enjoyable, and ultimately more insightful encounter for everyone involved.
To ensure our messages are always understood clearly, especially when adapting to various individuals and situations, getting the balance right between vocabulary and clarity seems paramount. What's the optimal way to use the right words to convey nuance and interest while still ensuring universal comprehension?
Using the right words effectively in different situations certainly enhances your communication. A diverse vocabulary allows you to express precisely what you mean, adding nuance and making conversations more interesting and engaging. However, it's equally, if not more important, to choose words that are easily understood by your specific audience in that specific context. Avoid using overly formal, obscure, or confusing jargon that might alienate, confuse, or exclude people unnecessarily.
So it's about finding that sweet spot.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance, using engaging and precise vocabulary where it adds value, while always prioritizing clarity and ensuring everyone can follow along and enjoy the conversation. Imagine recounting a thrilling travel experience. Instead of just saying, I had a good time, using more vivid words like, I had an amazing experience, or it was a truly thrilling journey, conveys your enjoyment more effectively. But as we touched on before, avoid saying something like, I embarked upon an exhilarating sojourn, when a simpler phrase like, I went on a really fun trip would be much better understood by your friends and allow them to connect with your story.
Right, know your audience.
Precisely. The situation is like telling a story your friends or colleagues appreciate language they can easily grasp so they can enjoy the story with you. It's always a balance between using interesting, precise vocabulary and ensuring clear, accessible understanding.
Finally, we wrap up our methods with taking initiative.
How do we get better at starting conversations confidently and, just as importantly, transitioning smoothly between topics to keep the flow natural and engaging, avoiding awkward lulls?
Taking initiative in starting a conversation is like putting the conversational gears in motion. It can feel daunting, but it's a learnable skill. Using simple icebreakers-friendly opening actions or questions can act as keys to get things going smoothly, especially with new people or after a period of silence. Once engaged, transitioning between topics is the art of switching those gears smoothly without causing discomfort or abruptness, like a smooth lane change whilst driving rather than a sudden swerve.
How do we do that smoothly?
Using bridging phrases like "speaking of X" or "that reminds me of" or "by the way, that makes me think about" helps move the conversation naturally from one subject to another without awkward pauses or jarring stops. For instance, if you're discussing recent films and a friend mentions their favorite actor, you could naturally pivot by saying, "Well, since we're talking about actors, have you seen their latest movie? I read an interesting review." This allows a seamless shift. Starting a conversation and transitioning effectively are like offering a warm welcome and then guiding someone along a scenic route, ensuring a good start and maintaining a smooth, enjoyable flow.
What about nonverbal cues for initiating?
Yes, nonverbals are key here too. An open posture, standing or sitting straight, facing the person, shows readiness to engage. Gentle nodding while listening shows understanding. Leaning forward slightly conveys interest. Using friendly open hand gestures like waving or open palms makes you seem more approachable. And making small listening sounds, I see, encourages the other person to continue.
And some good opening questions.
10 quick inviting questions to start interesting conversations could be: what's the most interesting thing you've read or watched lately? If you could travel anywhere right now, where would you go and why? Do you have a favorite hobby you're passionate about? What's the best piece of advice you've ever received? If you could have dinner with any 3 people, living or dead, who would they be? What's a skill you'd love to learn? What kind of music do you enjoy listening to? What's something that made you smile this week? What's a goal you're working towards right now? What's your favorite way to relax after a busy day?
Great examples.
Of course, customize these to fit the specific person and situation for more interesting, potentially deep conversations. Hashtag tag tag outro.
As we reach the final moments of this deep dive, it's become abundantly clear that communication is far more than just exchanging words, isn't it? It's a powerful tool, a unique ability we possess to leave a profound and lasting impact on those around us.
Indeed it is. Every word we utter carries weight not necessarily in quantity, but certainly in quality and intention. Our words can become beacons of inspiration or, conversely, sources of misunderstanding. They could ignite fires of change. From a fleeting exchange with a stranger in a queue to a heartfelt, difficult conversation with a loved one, our communication has the potential to shape relationships, influence decisions, and even shape destinies in small or large ways. Harnessing this power isn't about shouting the loudest, dominating discussions, or always having the last word. It's about wielding words with precision, infusing them with empathy, and forging connections that can transcend barriers. It's about choosing dialogue over debate where possible, seeking understanding over making assumptions, and consciously crafting messages that resonate positively long after they've been spoken.
So let's commit to mastering this art, continually refining it. Let's refine our ability to express complex ideas simply and clearly, to approach disagreements with an open heart and mind, and to choose words that uplift, encourage, and inspire whenever we can.
Absolutely. The echoes of our communication ripple far beyond the immediate interaction. A single sentence, offered thoughtfully, can spark a revolution of thought in someone. A kind word can rekindle hope when someone's struggling. And a heartfelt, empathetic conversation can begin to mend fractured relationships. Our words truly have the power to shape our own lives and the lives of those we touch.
I want to leave you, our listeners, with one final idea to ponder: the concept of the abundance mindset. What does this mean, and how does it powerfully tie into effective communication in our daily lives?
The abundance mindset is a really powerful way of thinking. It's about seeing the world and our interactions within it as being full of opportunities, resources, and possibilities rather than scarcity and limitation. It's a state of mind that focuses on plenty rather than lack, concentrating on what you have, what could go well, and the potential for positive outcomes, instead of dwelling on what's missing or what might go wrong.
How does that relate to communication?
It directly impacts how you communicate. When you approach conversations with an abundance mindset, you tend to believe there are always enough good ideas to go around, enough potential solutions to problems, and enough opportunities for connection and mutual benefit. This perspective frees you from the fear of competition or scarcity in dialogue. You're less likely to feel threatened by others' success or ideas. You're more hopeful and creative when facing problems or disagreements, and more naturally inclined to collaborate and share generously, because you believe that another person's gain doesn't necessarily mean your loss.
So it fosters openness.
It fosters tremendous openness,
Right.
generosity, and truly reciprocal exchanges. If you can go forth and try to cultivate this mindset in your life, alongside practicing the specific communication concepts we've explored today, I truly believe you will exponentially live a more complete, connected, and wholesome life.
You now know that our words are far more than just sounds. They are catalysts for change, connection, and understanding. By embracing the power of our communication consciously and skillfully, we can leave a positive memory that will last long after we are gone. Go out into the world, interact with purpose and empathy, and watch how your thoughtful actions ripple through the lives of the people around you. If you found value in today's deep dive, please do consider rating the show or perhaps sharing this with a colleague or friend who might also benefit. Your support really helps us to continue bringing these insightful conversations to you. Thank you for joining us on the deep dive.